Hey everyone, Sir Jellybean here. We are back with Court Arms against Phil Ostfront, and this is my top 10 Russian units for Conquest, the Soviet forces. So, obviously, we've played a lot of Conquests in this game, and I've done a few of the Soviets, and I've done a few by myself privately. And these are my top 10 units for the Soviets. Now, obviously, people will disagree with me, but these are things I personally think are fantastic and are worth the point. Some are weird, some are wonderful, and some are just obvious picks. So, just like the German video, we are going to start from the infantry. We're going to start from the top, and these are the assault engineers. Now, these things are insane. And let's look on the research tree first. Now, they're not easy to get to. They cost a lot of points. You obviously have to go all the way down this line. You have to go through all the recon snipers, guards, get to the motorized guards, through that, and get to the assault engineers. But why are they worth it? Well, assault engineers have 375 HP and 300 stamina, but they also have this body armor, which gives them a chance to kind of deflect small arms. Obviously, a chance for it to do basically no damage. The fact that they have the body armor very much makes them tougher. But it's the size of the squad is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10-man squad. It's only 20 pop cap, 275 manpower. Now, if you look at the assault engineer flamers, the pop cap's lower, but the cost is insane because the flame troops. This assault sapper team has, MG, is a crappy MG. Has obviously leader with a PPSH 43, which is fantastic. But you have SMGs all the way through. It's a close combat elite killing machine. They have frag grenades, they have AT weapons, and they just unleash, obviously, with the PPSH 41 with the drum. Yes, all armed with the drum. This thing is insane. Obviously, comes with a 71 round clip, unleashes tons of pain, and obviously the stats are good 4s and 5s all the way through. It's a fantastic squad. It will overrun anything. It can take heavy hits. It can even take direct hits from high explosive with a high health. They have good stamina. They even have good regen. 7.4 stamina regen and 1.5 HP regen. Best infantry unit in the game, I would say, for pure survivability and killing power. Obviously, they do have to close in a bit close, but once they're in there, they shred everything. So yeah, assault sappers, my favourite infantry. I'd say the best infantry units in the game personally. I'd say they even give the Americans a run for the money for infantry firepower. Once you're getting close, nothing can compare to the mass PPSH death. Next, we have the Ampulate. Now, this one will be... People are like, Ampulate, are you serious, Sir Jellybean? Yes. Now, the Ampulate's not too hard to get to if you actually look down here. It's just after the mortar. Obviously, people know in history the Ampulate wasn't great. Excuse me. It fired glass vials that tended to break. Now, why is the Ampulate great? Now, let's just have a look at where it is on the thing. It's 6 pop cap and 140 manpower, so it's cheap. The range of it is about 80 and 90 meters. It's not great. And you might think penetration's not great either. This thing can burn anything. Any tank it can burn, any infantry. It's not the most accurate, but you get 1 or 2 of these hidden in a decent position. Bear in mind they lob the flame shell, the vial of fire, the Molotov. 2 of them, they'll burn a Tiger down. They'll burn an IS-2 down. They'll burn a Sherman down. They'll burn infantry. They'll light buildings on fire. This is kind of like the incendiary from a mortar, but these things are horrendous to fight. So really, the Ampulate is a very cheap and effective terror weapon. I absolutely love it, especially on defense. Hide a few of these and watch as the AI or your enemy runs in fear. The Ampulate is fantastic, and it's pretty cheap for what you get. I really like the Ampulate, and it's easily mobile, so it's a fantastic weapon. The Ampulate's definitely an absolute beast. Next, the 57mm is to 1941. Now, to get this anti-tank gun, it's a bit of an interesting one. So you come down here. Where is it again? So the 57mm is obviously going to go down the 76er, 76. But it's up here just before the ZIS-30. Now, I like the 57mm for one reason. It's high velocity, 141mm on the base armor-piercing shells. So it's got very good armor penetration. That will take out any medium tank. And actually, if you look at it at 150 meters, it's 289. But within 100 meters, that will rip through a Tiger's front. That will rip right through a Tiger's front. It has a good rate of fire at 57mm. Has a good gun shield. And cost-wise, well, it's not that expensive. It's 410 manpower, but only 20 pop cap. No, it's not. That's the wrong one. I've just clicked the wrong one. You moron. 20 pop cap, 470 manpower. But still, it is fantastic. One of the best anti-tank guns in the game. High rate of fire, shreds medium and light tanks, and can destroy heavy tanks as well. It disable any tank pretty easily. It can also blast infantry, and it has a very good gun shield. It's a fantastic anti-tank gun. It's one of the best. It's one of the few that I fear when I actually fight the Soviets. So it is very, very good, and is very, very effective against armor. So yeah, definitely give the ZIS 57mm a try. I really like it, and it's just a fantastic anti-tank gun. And it's only weight 2, so you can tow it with some of the lighter stuff as well, which is great. Next is the 120mm mortar. Now, the Russian 120mm is the best out of any mortar for one reason. It's the ammunition. Now, pop cap wise, it's 18, so it's not bad. It's 460 manpower. But this thing gets high explosive shells. Unlike the Germans, it gets smoke shells as well, and it gets incendiary shells. It gets white phosphorus smoke, so the German 120mm doesn't. So you can also use it tactically, but it also has incendiary rounds, basically similar to the ampullet rounds, but obviously firing at a lot further range. It also has obviously a great range at about 240 meters. The 120mm for the Russians is the best mortar in the game. I'd say it's rivaled by the Finnish Mineworth for pure destructive power, but for all-round mortar ability, it is by far the best in the game. Beats the Germans, beats anyone else's. It's got good fire rate and the different ammunition type set. The fact that it also has smoke at the larger calibers makes it far better. And those incendiary shells, you can hit tanks, knock them out. You can burn buildings down, which is really effective. So yeah, the Soviet 120mm mortar is great. And research tree wise, it's not too difficult to get if you go to the mortars. It's only, I think, 2 points over the 82mm. So you can get it quite early on, and it's only one tow weight, so you can tow it with light vehicles. The 120mm mortar is phenomenal. Next, the BM31-12, the Andrusia. Now, this is obviously the Stalin's organ on steroids. Now, the only bad thing is research heavy to unlock. It's all the way down here, and you've got to go through all these added-on kind of Katyusha variants to get to it. But it is probably the most destructive. I think it's more destructive than the Nebelwerfer 30 as well, or on the similar path. Now, if we can actually find the thing. Oh, where have you gone, young Andrusia? Where have you gone? Is that right? It's 55 pop cap and 1,610 manpower. So one of the most expensive units in the game. But these 12 30mm, 30 centimeters, 300mm rockets will destroy anything. Destroy tanks, infantry. It's fantastic. It has good spread on them. It's a mobile vehicle, but it's light. It's very, very, very effective. Long reload time, but it's probably the most destructive multiple launch rocket system in the game. I think the Nebelwerfer, the German Nebelwerfer that has the 30cm rockets only has 6. So this has 12, and they are as destructive. Obviously, these massive like shells to launch. So yeah, it's the most destructive multiple launch rocket system in the game. It's fantastic, and yeah, it's definite buy. If you get this thing, you will not need to worry about assaulting objectives because there'll be no objective left. It will just be destroyed. It is fantastic. Very expensive though, so do keep it safe. But I do like the Andrusia. Definitely worth it. Next, one close to my heart, the T60 in 1941. So it's a bit of an interesting tank. Let's just get to it. 310 manpower, 17 pop cap. But why is it good? It's the 20mm autocannon. Now, it may not seem that good, but this thing has a 64 round magazine. It also has a DT machine gun. 64 rounds in the magazine. It's a machine gun. It fires a ridiculous thing. It's fairly close range, the autocannon. Hasn't got the best penetration. But this thing shreds infantry, it shreds light armour, and it's very easy to get to the T60. It's not very expensive, as you can see. If we go back down this research part of the tree, if you go down this line down to the Lend-Lease, the T60 is very easy to get to. It only takes about 6 or 7 research points. It doesn't take long at all. It's cheap, it's effective, and it can tow. It can tow some up to 2 things, the 2 weight things. So T60 is great, and the armor's not bad. Like it's 5 to 35, but 10 to 25. But look at the slope on the armor. Obviously, there is a bit of a bad thing with the the flatness there, but it's actually quite survivable for a small tank, and it is a small tank, and it's quite mobile. 45 kilometers an hour, 2-man crew, easy to repair, easy to reman if you have a tank crew. I love the T60. Great little ambush tank and great support tank for infantry forces. It's fantastic. Great vehicle. Next, one close to my heart, the KV-8 Flame. Now, I'm going to argue this is the best flame tank in the game for one reason. It's absolutely solid to kill. Now, the flame tank is great if you're going down the heavy armor line, as you can see, down the KVs, and the KV-8 is just there, so it doesn't take long. It's in the 1941 variant. The thing is not that expensive either for a kind of heavy flame spewing tank of death. If we get to the KVs, it's 45 pop cap, 750 manpower. But why is it good? Now, that main gun is actually a 45mm gun hidden inside the main gun. That was so they couldn't pick out which one were the flame tanks. Excuse me. You still get 3 DT machine guns. You get one in the coaxial, and you get one in the rear and one in the hull. But you also get bomb, massive flamethrower. Actually, I'm pretty sure they take out the DT in the hull for the flamethrower. That might be a mistype there. But you basically get machine guns and flamethrowers and a 45mm gun to match. But it's the armor. The armor is hull 10 to 100, turret armor 40 to 90, and additional armor 25. So it's very hard to kill. That flamethrower, which is, I believe the flamethrower is in the turret, I'm pretty sure. If I got that right. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. But it's got, it only has like 10 flame in the magazine, but it reloads quick, carries a lot of firepower, but it's very hard to kill. You drive this up fairly safely, it can take a lot of hits, it can torch infantry, it can torch emplacements, it can torch tanks. It's a great all-round flame tank, and it's one of my favourites just because how survivable it is. And the KV, even though a bit slow at 35 kilometers an hour, it's very tough. And it's quite easy to get through. And if you are going down that heavy tank line, it's a great addition to the heavy tanks. You're going down the KV IS2 series, the IS series. It's a fantastic vehicle. So very, very good tank. Love the KV flame tank. And it's only 45 pop cap, which means it's a bit cheaper than some of the bigger stuff. Next, I'm going to go for the SU100. 45 pop cap. Now, this thing is pretty pricey, I'm not going to lie. The SU100, 1,180 manpower. It's a very powerful tank destroyer. Obviously, this is on the T34 line, and it's right at the bottom down here on the research, so it does cost a lot. But the main thing is it's that 100mm D10S L59. 250 mils penetration. Very powerful anti-tank gun. Also can fire 100mm high explosive shells. The armor is 10 to 75 hull with additional 75, but it's the sloping. The sloping is very strong on this thing, giving it actually, I think it's stronger armor than a Tiger with the slope. It might be maybe a bit less, but it's very tough to kill. It also has a very strong turret mantlet. This thing is a great tank destroyer. I've used it many times. It will blow through a target. It'll blow through a king target. It'll take out any armored vehicle in the game within reason, as long as you have decent range on it. And it reloads pretty quick at 100 mils. It doesn't take too long, but it's also on a pretty tough chassis. I do like this tank, and 45 pop caps. So you can sneak into some of the smaller waves, but it is pricey manpower wise, so do be careful with it. Next, the SU-122. Now, this is another interesting tank. The SU-122 is actually, I believe it's... Where is the 122? I forgot where he has gone. Oh, is it? Oh, it's just there. It's just before T-34. It's actually before the SU-85 series, which is strange. But it's really good. It's 40 pop cap. It's 785 manpower. It's cheap. This has a 122mm main gun, but it's HE and heat rounds, and the heat rounds will penetrate basically any tank in the game. They're extremely strong. The hull armor is 10 to 100, and it has very good sloped frontal armor, and it has pretty good reload speed. It is a fantastic support gun. I'd say it's better than the Stu 42, just because of its larger gun, but the heat rounds are very strong as well. So this is a great all-round tank, and it's probably my favourite Soviet tank altogether. I love the kind of launching the shells from distance. It can do anti-armor, it can do anti-emplacement, anti-infantry. It's anti-everything. It is a fantastic vehicle. At 40 pop cap and 785, it's a lot cheaper than some of the heavier stuff. A lot cheaper than the SU-152s and stuff like that. In my opinion, far better. Far, far better. And it's on a pretty mobile, 55 kilometers an hour. It's a very mobile little tank. And finally, obviously, the big lad. The IS-2 1945. This thing is just insane. Now, obviously, the IS-2 1945 has one major difference. What is it? The 50 cal Dushka on top. It's obviously like one of the most research-heavy things to unlock. It's all the way down here. It's pricey as well. It's 55 pop cap, 1,480 manpower. But it's a beast. Hull armor 25 to 100, turret armor 30 to 110. It has good sloping and a good strong hull. Main gun's 122mm L48.5. It has huge high explosive rounds. It also comes with armor piercing rounds. It's an absolute beast. And the fact that it has two DTs, you have a DT coaxial, and I believe you have a DT on the rear. You don't have a hull machine gun. They remove that, realizing hull machine guns are pointless on bigger tanks because you can make the armor stronger. But that roof-mounted, that pintle-mounted Dushka makes it very, very potent. Can destroy a Tiger, can take out a King Tiger. Now, the only disadvantage is the slowish reload speed, in my opinion, compared to some of the bigger guns. But if you hit something with a high explosive, you will cripple it. That's why it's a great all-round tank and a great kind of spearhead tank and position-destroying tank. So the IS-2 1945, yeah, is the top vehicle for the Soviets. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. They're just the top 10 things I think are very useful and fun in Conquest with the Soviets. If you haven't tried some of these, definitely do it. And obviously, tell me what's your top 10. Tell me your favourite units. Obviously, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. And you guys have a fantastic evening.